Aquaponics is an ancient way to grow food that combines raising fish, that's called aquaculture, with hydroponics, the practice of growing vegetables with their roots in water rather than in soil. Aquaponics systems are especially well suited for places with little arable land or irrigation water. The basic requirements, aside from fish and plants, are access to enough clean water and energy. When I was in college, I was involved in the Back to the Land movement. I saw several aquaponics systems then. Their goal was to grow as much food as possible in a small space with a minimum of water, fertilizer, and energy. The difference between then and now is that people are using aquaponics systems in so many different kinds of situations, from schools to backyards to commercial farms that supply high-end restaurants. The simplicity and efficiency of these systems is impressive. They're part of a future of sustainable agriculture, as we'll see today on A Growing Passion. The practice of growing vegetables and fish together goes back more than 1,000 years. The Aztecs raised crops on rafts they floated on the surface of fish-filled lakes. In Asia, water from catfish ponds is still used to irrigate vegetable crops, and farmers add fish to rice paddies. In all of these systems, plants and fish do more than coexist. They benefit each other. Modern aquaponics are a higher-tech version of the old systems. They recirculate water between fish tanks and plant-filled grow beds. The cleaned and oxygenated water supplies the ponds where fish grow at high densities. Plants whose roots are bathed in a constant supply of nitrogen-rich fish effluent grow faster than they would in the soil. When done correctly, very little water leaves the system, so just as little needs to be added. That gives aquaponics the potential to be our most water-efficient way of growing food. I'm really intrigued by how scalable and diverse aquaponics systems are. They all share the same basic components, water, fish, and plants, but there's no one right way to design them.
Well, I've done dirt gardening before, had a raised bed. I just wasn't very successful, so then I did an aquaponics experiment and it worked so well, this happened.
Homeowner Dave St. John is an engineer by day, so it's no surprise that his mind is constantly analyzing situations and solving problems. Those are the skills that prompted Dave to design and assemble his own version of a backyard aquaponics system, several actually.
So this is my backyard aquaponics system. We have an 800-gallon fish pond here, and some catfish in it. But this water is the source of the whole system. It gets pumped up to the grow beds and fertilizes the plants.
On a per square foot basis, aquaponics is one of the most efficient ways to grow food. 800 gallons of water from Dave's fish pond circulate through 10 grow beds where he raises all kinds of produce. All it takes is a 60-watt pump to keep the water moving, and it uses about the same amount of energy as a 60-watt light bulb. Grow beds are a very efficient way to grow plants too. Dave plants his vegetables much closer together than they would be in the ground. The vegetables grow faster than in soil, and his production cycle seems to extend beyond traditional seasons. Tell me about all the different vegetables you grow.
Well, I've tried a little bit of everything actually, and right now you can see I've got some eggplant left from the summer. I've got the winter crops of Brussels sprouts. I've done really well with the broccoli and cauliflower. I even have some strawberries that are showing up.
I see some peppers back there.
Yep, we've got peppers back here.
And lettuce?
Lots of lettuce over in the other area. So,
how much do you think you grow?
I've never measured it or weighed it, but way more than my family can eat. We got a family of 4, and we're giving stuff away all the time.
It's a surprisingly simple system. Each grow bed is filled with clay beads that become colonized with bacteria that convert ammonium from the fish poop to nitrate, which is the form of nitrogen plant roots can absorb. This system is highly automated. Timers trigger pumps and valves that fill the grow beds with water for 20 minutes out of each hour. Water moves from one bed to the next in sequence, so the big pond doesn't empty and leave the fish high and dry. By the time the water goes back into the pond, the nitrogen is gone and it's ready for the fish again. A heater keeps the water just the right temperature to support the fish. This system runs 24 hours a day.
David, this does not look like a system I could buy at the store.
No, not
How
at
did
Home
you
Depot.
come up with this?
There's a lot of information online. This is a pretty standard system. These containers are made from a bulk tote container like I use for collecting my rainwater. And then I just cut them into sections, and like the bottom's here, the top's there, to make my grow beds.
And this is the rail from that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you do?
I just have to put a drain at some point. In this case, it's in the middle, and that allows the water to drain back to the fish tank.
And then the plumbing to get the water here.
Yep. So all we have is a pump that's running all the time. The water drains back to the fish tank, and I use a timer to switch valves between different sections of my system.
And what about this stuff inside it? It feels kind of like a lava rock, but clearly it's not.
It's a clay pebble. It's very porous. It has lots of surface area to allow the bacteria to establish a colony.
So this is in place of a filter, a biofilter. This is the filter.
That is the biofilter.
And this is where the waste is converted to usable nitrogen for the plants.
Exactly. So the plants then absorb that from the water, and when the water goes back to the fish tank, it's clean water.
It helps that Dave is a tinkerer. He's constantly adjusting the system to get it just right. Today, Dave is updating his drain design.
You're almost there.
My problem is these BBs are getting underneath this guard, which is supposed to keep them out, and it gets up into the plumbing and it causes problems. So what I'm gonna do is, the other thing I don't like about this is this 3-inch drain is very hard to get my hand in and do any maintenance. So I'm gonna get rid of this one, but I'm gonna take some silicone and I'm gonna kind of glue this to the bottom of the tank.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get a bigger pipe. When I cut the slots in it so the water can get through, then this bigger pipe will sit right in there.
Oh, and your hand can go in
I can
here.
get my hand in there for maintenance. It's a nice tight seal on the bottom so none of the BBs get inside.
It's easy to get caught up in Dave's inventions, but what really impresses me are the vegetables he grows.
Nice tomatoes. This was a cauliflower, right?
Yes, it was.
So you cut the head off and you left the stalk, but
It's
time
ready
to
to
come
make
out?
room for something new, yes.
all right, we're going to take this out. I want to see how big the root mass is. Ready?
Up
Oh,
and down, maybe.
yeah, I got it. I'm
work
just
it
going
up
to
and
rock it
down.
around.
There you go.
Oh, here it comes. Oh,
Yeah, it's moving a lot of gravel.
it sure is. It's harder than you would think.
There we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Yeah,
Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that. It's like big beads. So you're going to save all these.
Yeah, I reuse all that stuff as much as I can.
All right. So this is the whole size of that root mass.
Yep.
And I'll let you clean it off.
Yep, no problem. Just put it in the bucket and we're good.
This is the most amazing thing
I
I've
don't
ever
even
seen.
know what to do
Look
with
at this.
that. So
Oh,
there
it's
you go.
just coming right out.
There we go. I
How-
call that my elephant radish.
That's enormous. And there's no roots.
No, they don't need much roots because they get all the water they could want. So
I'm amazed to see how much David grows here. Now, not everyone can create and maintain a system as sophisticated as this one, but it's a really interesting example of what you can do with some out-of-the-box thinking in a small amount of space.
Bill Toon is driven by the pursuit of sustainability. In 2003, he founded EcoLife Conservation.
EcoLife is working to reduce the footprint of agriculture around the world to create more food for human beings and more space for wildlife. The system we're using is aquaponics, the stacking of fish farming and vegetable farming because of the huge reduction in footprint and water use.
A lifelong interest in wildlife conservation led Bill to recognize that the most effective way to protect animals is to help people. So the first time you got hired by the zoo, how old were you?
I was 16, got hired to pick up trash.
And then?
Off to graduate school to study the sex life of birds, and that led me to the Condor program and conservation.
Oh, and how did that bring you back here?
A trip to Madagascar really changed my perspective on conservation, and I realized traditional conservation wasn't working, and that led me to aquaponics.
Wow, so this is an aquaponics system.
Yep, this is aquaponics, fired by fish and floating on water.
So lettuce, romaine, basil, kale?
Yeah, we can't decide what to grow because everything grows so well. So we've been playing with a lot of different things in here.
Look how densely it's planted.
Yeah, we can grow things like lettuce and chard and that sort of thing on 10% of the land that a commercial farmer would grow them on.
At EcoLife's demonstration system in Escondido, California, Toon and his staff experiment with growing plants and fish to create the most effective systems.
Well, these are the fish that drive the whole program. These are tilapia. We work with tilapia because we like to eat what we grow. And the system works just like the earth works, which makes it perfect. The fish are here thriving. They produce a bit of waste. That waste is run through a system. It's converted into something plants can use. The plants clean it up and send clean water back to the fish.
So this is a closed loop system.
It's a closed loop system. We're able to raise tilapia on only 1% of the water that a commercial tilapia farm would use, and we grow our vegetables on about 10% of the water that a traditional farming system would use.
Plants grow in little plastic cups set in floating rafts.
Show me how this works.
Yeah, so the lettuce is in a little pot.
Oh my gosh, look at those.
Isn't that something? And the cleanliness of the roots tells you a lot about how cleanly the system is working and how efficiently it's working.
And it's just a little tiny plug in there.
Yeah.
That's even 2 plants.
Yeah.
I'm kind of speechless. That doesn't happen too often.
It's pretty remarkable. And then to add to it, this whole system is powered by the sun, so it's run on photovoltaic panels. And in a 3.5-inch rain year, San Diego averages about 7, we can run this farm all year round on rainwater.
Just on rainwater.
Yeah.
This aquaponics system's inputs are minimal. There's no fertilizers, no herbicides, no insecticides, just some fish food every other day. The system includes a network of pumps and filters. This is where the magic happens.
This filter is a pond filter, and it has 2 parts. The first is a mechanical filter, and it basically, you can see, it's catching all the solid waste.
Yep, all the mucky, yucky stuff.
And then the other filters in here, the blue and the gray ones, act as a place for the bacteria to live. The bacteria that live on these biological filters are converting that ammonia into nitrite, and then a second set of bacteria is converting it into nitrate.
And that goes into the pond, and the roots take up the nitrate from the water and use that to grow.
Yep, exactly.
Plant roots need oxygen as much as they need water and nitrates. But too much water with too little oxygen, and the plants literally drown. So how does this work?
I plumbed this line so that as the water comes from the fish tank back into the grow bed, it's aerating the water, so we kind of get some free aeration, but we also use air pumps like the kind you would have in an aquarium, and those are in the grow bed as well.
So it's that turbulence that keeps the surface tension and brings the air into the water.
Exactly.
Lettuce and other greens do really well in this experimental system. Martin and his colleagues are testing peppers and basil too.
I love looking at all the basil. I take it you're experimenting to see what's going to work?
We kind of know what works a little bit. This system's only a month old.
This pond is only a month old?
Yeah.
Well, how long does it take to go from the newly planted lettuce to the mature lettuce?
Anywhere from 30 to 45 days, depending on...
That quick?
Yeah. Plants grow up to 25% faster in aquaponics because they have access to all the water and nutrients that they want. And it'll be more towards 30 around summer, when you're getting more sunlight.
It's kind of shocking, actually.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Bill Toon and his associates see aquaponics as holding promise for growing vegetables in arid regions around the world, to save water, to reduce the use of chemicals, and to ease the pressure that turns native habitats into farm fields. While EcoLife experiments with aquaponic systems in remote areas, they remain firmly rooted in the local food system, where they focus on future farmers.
So who likes to learn actually outside here? Okay, great.
At Madison Middle School in Vista, California, 7th and 8th grade science students are diving into aquaponics with help from EcoLife.
Aquaponics is just something new and different to where you're not always going to do that stereotypical getting your hands dirty in the dirt and working. It's something new, innovative, and just a huge thing to learn.
Students are designing, budgeting, engineering, and constructing a school garden, including an aquaponics system. This is their living laboratory.
They really want to go with this aquaponics idea, so we've been working on that in class and during lunch and after school, and so finally here we are, after 2.5 years, we're finally starting.
Just take these bricks and we'll line them up around however you guys want.
EcoLife Aquaponics Program Manager Kate Cole works with these students to introduce them to aquaponics systems and why they're important.
So our next generation is going to be responsible for helping us create a sustainable food system, and it's important for them to learn how to sustain ourselves and feed ourselves in a way that's not going to be depleting our resources.
We started out working with Kate on an aquaponics Trello board, which is kind of like a mix of Pinterest and Facebook combined. The students were responding to questions online, doing research.
Student ownership is a big part of this program. Besides the aquaponics, they're planting a succulent garden. They're weeding their garden beds. They're starting seeds for raised vegetable beds.
All right, here's some more seeds.
And they're personalizing the space with garden art. They take their role seriously, but they keep it all in perspective. So we're doing worms right now, but I know there's all these people building an aquaponics system over there. You were involved in all of that, right?
Yes.
And why is this important? Why do you like aquaponics?
I like aquaponics because it saves a lot of water, and since we're kind of still in a drought, it helps with saving water. And you still get fresh food, and you don't use pesticides.
Everything's going to go through the nitrogen cycle. You guys learned about that in class? Yeah. So it goes from ammonia to nitrite, and the plants can take up nitrate.
With help from EcoLife staff, the students set up the pond and install the plumbing. In a few weeks, when the water is stabilized, they'll add fish and plants. Aquaponics inspires these young minds to think about science and the environment. It presents an opportunity for hands-on learning and team-building lessons they'll carry into their future academic and professional lives.
I hope that they're going to get a love for being outside and also a really great understanding of where their food is actually coming from, and just coming up with such a great solution to some problems that we're facing in our local community.
Thank you, EcoLife!
Future Foods Farms supplies Chef Adam Navidi's restaurant and catering company. The organic produce and fish he grows here travel just a few miles from this farm to the plate. It's part of Chef Adam's vision of growing and serving food with a small carbon footprint.
The goal with this is to be able to supply my own restaurants with great, clean, healthy, organic food and protein from the fish.
Thank you. Oh, wow, look at this. What have we got? Chives?
Yeah, garlic chives, tomatoes.
I see your lemongrass.
Italian parsley.
I see the watercress. Can I nibble?
Yeah, go for it. I love the watercress. Spicy.
Yum.
The idea of growing aquaponically, I've been playing around with doing hydroponics, and then I learned about aquaponics and it made more sense as for a chef. This is strawberry spinach. Have you seen strawberry spinach?
No.
Yeah, that's what this is right here. So this puts off little strawberries, like fruit of strawberries. And it's also got, you can use the leaves of spinach.
Can I take a piece?
Yeah, go for it, please do. I'll do the same.
Wow. It's got a real fresh taste to it.
Yeah.
I like that strawberry spinach. I'm going to try that. You've got so many different things going on in here, the watercress and the basil and the chard and the tomatoes and all that. How does this system work?
So these are flood and drain tables. So this water comes from the fish ponds up in here. About 100 gallons, 15 minutes to flood, and then 15 minutes to drain.
And how often does that happen?
That happens every 2 hours. We have a very light aggregate in here, which is shale, which is mined in Colorado. And that's where you have the good bacterium that is colonized on this shale. And when the water comes in, the ammonia helps turn that into nitrogen for the plants. My father was an engineer for 30 years with GE. And then my uncle was an aquaculture scientist and also an avocado rancher in Escondido. So I think a little bit of it, of both of them is at play here.
So this is your fish tank?
Yes, this is one of many fish ponds that we have here, or fish tanks at the farm here.
What's in here?
So we have a couple hundred tilapia. We have some blue and some orange Mozambique tilapia.
Wait, there's a couple hundred in here?
Yeah, a couple hundred in here.
How big is this tank?
This tank is anywhere from 500, it's about 500 gallons.
That's a lot of fish. I can barely see. Oh, actually I can kind of see them.
Yeah, there's some good sized ones in there as well.
How big are they? They're like this big.
Yep, anywhere from 4 to 6 inches.
And this water is recirculating through the grow beds, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about these?
And then these are all verticals. So we, and here this is our research greenhouse. So the students from the universities are allowed to, they come out here every week and they do research on trying to grow different things vertically, some strawberries to some French oaks, some baby butter lettuces. This is a new system that we're testing out. It's a vertical system. We just cut some watercress and put it in here, leave a little bit of the root system on there, and then we just plant this into our floating rafts or our vertical walls, and away it goes.
That's it.
That's simple.
At any given time, Chef Adam is growing 50 to 60 kinds of vegetables in his greenhouses, using different kinds of aquaponics systems. Some are flood and drain. He uses floating rafts, and still others are vertical walls and cylinders. Chef Adam is taking aquaponics' sustainability potential to a new level. He built his systems with reclaimed materials he found in the greenhouses that were already on the property.
This system I designed about 7 years ago, all reused and reclaimed items. So we have like fence posts that are on the bottom that we use. We had the on the top were the wooden posts that were holding up trees outside. Inside the pipes was shade material that was already out here. The straps that are on there were straps that went over the greenhouses.
A second-hand salad bar frames the beds where he grows leafy greens. He used soil from on-site to fill bags that form the walls of ponds for both fish and lettuce. The floating wraps are made from the lids of styrofoam containers used to ship salmon to Navidi's restaurant. One big advantage of aquaponics is its adaptability to land that's not suited for traditional agriculture.
You know, we lease this property. It's industrial land that normally wouldn't be used for farming because most farmers are looking to grow in soil. They want to use tractors, very intensive farming. For us, it's about growing above ground, vertical farming, aquaponics, recirculating systems. So we're able to put some greenhouses in, and we're able to do everything above ground.
And that includes growing 20,000 tilapia fish. Chef Adam breeds the fish here too, and raises the young fish in his on-site nursery before releasing them into the ponds. In other systems, the fish are fed fish food, but here they eat duckweed. This is as close to closed loop as it gets.
Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a pretty big fish. How much does that weigh?
That's probably about a 3.5 pound fish right there.
Is that harvest size?
Yep, that's when we like to harvest them. You get a nice fillet out of that.
Chef Adam and his helpers harvest fish and vegetables for Oceans and Earth, Chef's award-winning farm-to-table restaurant in nearby Yorba Linda. There, Future Foods Farms products are always on the menu.
Inside our box here, we got a lot of the living lettuces, watercress, basils, tomatoes, probably about 20 different things inside of here that are going to go on this plate.
This is the tilapia, huh?
Yep. So we're going to make kind of, in essence, kind of our own play on a fish sandwich that we call cocoon or tomorrow's butterfly.
Since starting Future Foods Farms, Chef Adam and his staff have developed a deep appreciation for what it takes to produce the raw ingredients they cook with.
Yeah, we love it. I love what we do here. This is about having fun and getting creative and doing something kind of out of the box, you know? Here you got a beautiful salad, you got some ceviche, you got almost like a fish sandwich, a play on fish sandwich, and a great panna cotta. It's a vanilla bean panna cotta with passion fruit and some chocolate shavings. Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
While aquaponics systems are still rare, they're getting more and more attention from restaurateurs, from farmers, environmentalists, teachers, researchers, and everyday backyard gardeners. Aquaponics can make food production more efficient while reducing the pressure on declining fisheries and expanding farmland around the world. It's one important piece of the sustainability puzzle. Growing fish and plants together can be scaled down to feed a family or up to feed an entire community.
Plants plus fish, fish plus plants. Each provides something the other one needs, and we are the lucky ones who benefit from that relationship. Will aquaponics change the way our food's grown? Sure seems promising. I'm Nan Sterman. Thanks for watching.